Cesar, you were a guy in the beginning of the year. A lot of people were expecting to compete, in the two deep there, and you're getting your shot now. Just, I guess, feeling right now, comfort level, that sort of thing.
I'm pretty comfortable. It was great to be able to get out there and start Saturday. The nerves are gone, and I'm just pretty comfortable and still ready to compete.
What's your overall sense of the offensive line right now?
Could you rephrase that?
Yeah, just your overall sense. I mean, it seems like there's a little bit of balance right now. The running game's working well. Just how do you evaluate it?
I think we're doing a great job. There's still always areas to improve, but we pride ourselves on running the ball, and we're doing a real good job with focusing on that identity right now.
Where have you seen the offensive line really grow in the last 2-3 weeks after the Penn State game?
After the Penn State game, I just noticed everybody just going a lot harder, and we always went hard in practice, but I always noticed guys going a lot harder, and everybody's starting to get used to everything now. The younger guys are starting to get used to everything. Me too, and just a lot more full speed things and a lot less thinking. More everybody just knows where they're going now. It's just a lot of full speed.
What are the biggest things that you've learned as an offensive lineman at this level since the start of the season?
I learned a lot. I learned how to play 4 different positions. I've learned also to be ready. You never know when your name's going to be called too, and so make sure you know what you're doing at all times.
What's the one position you haven't taken reps at?
Left tackle is the only position I haven't taken reps at.
Which of the positions do you prefer to play?
Doesn't matter to me. Wherever coach wants to put me at, wherever's going to get me on the field, that's what I'm going to play.
That's been what you've been playing most, getting the most reps on?
I've been focusing on left guard up until this week. Until last week, I've been playing. I was rotating in at right guard.
Cesar, I remember back, I think it was in the spring. I mean, at IMG, you were used to this kind of like structure and everything, and I remember talking to you about the transition. You didn't feel like it was going to be, a huge leap. Can you just describe, the past months being in college, now that you got your first start, that is the transition what you thought it would be?
Transition to the season is definitely completely different than it was in high school. There's a lot more game plan, a lot more scouting reports, a lot more looks you have to look at, a lot more blitzes you have to recognize. It's a lot more advanced than it was in high school. So that's one thing I did adjust to, but it wasn't a big problem for me.
In terms of the picking it up and everything, I mean, was there a particular area where you felt like it was a challenge? Did you have any kind of hitches along the way?
Not really. Coach Drevno he really teaches us how to block multiple fronts. In camp, in spring ball, we blocked multiple fronts, and so the line calls and different things like that were just things that we already knew when we were game planning for teams.
When guys are up there blocking and you see somebody all of a sudden taking off 77, 67 yards for a touchdown, describe the feeling there as an offensive lineman helping you make that happen.
Once I see that, those who play with Karan kind of ran me over, and I got up and I saw him running, and my first instinct was to go run with him. It makes sense when I'm meet him in the end zone. So as all linemen, that feels great. It means we did our job.
Has that ever happened to you before? Some other play where your running back sort of runs into you?
No, that was new. I haven't witnessed that before, but Karan, he doesn't stop his feet, so I doubt he knew I was there. So.
They mentioned after the game that you won a 3-man starting competition. When did you find out exactly you were going to start?
I found out Friday in meetings before the game.
And what was your reaction?
I was excited. I wasn't really nervous. I just got that feeling inside. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm waiting for this moment.
After the one sack on Brandon, what was the conversation? I looked like a couple of coaches.
It was a mistake that something I had to know I had to pick up. I got to the sideline. I didn't put my head down or anything. I told coach, I said, look, I messed up. It was nobody's fault. That was mine. That was my fault. And he told me, he said, move on from it. We all make mistakes. Just make up.
Is it hard? You're getting your first start, and you have to wait all day, and then you have to wait an extra hour when they delayed it?
I didn't know how the delay thing worked. I was sitting in the locker room. I was like, are they actually about to cancel the game on the week I'm supposed to start? And so I was pretty anxious in the locker room. You can ask some other old linemen. I was just sitting there the whole time, just waiting for them to tell us we could go back outside. So.
Caesar,
think they're really going to cancel it?
I didn't know what to expect. My mind was just all over the place at that moment.
Caesar, how do you? I mean, Brandon didn't get touched against Rutgers. Offensive line did a really good job protecting him. I mean, he did get touched a little bit this game. How do you feel like he reacted, though? I mean, get hit the way that you react. How do you feel like he handled all of that?
Brandon's real tough. For him to get up after those couple of hits on Saturday, it shows he's really tough, and he's a hard body. So,
how important is that with a quarterback? I mean, you can have a quarterback who can make throws, and be athletically, but if he's not tough, probably not going to be. I guess.
I mean, I think that's really important. As an offensive line, we don't plan on getting our quarterback hit. That's not what we go into the game
right.
thinking. So, but being as though we have somebody that can take that hit, and it not only benefits the team, but it benefits us too.
One thing that Jim said, he said, Brandon Peters has really got the mentality of playing to win and not to lose. How did you see Brandon do that?
When Brandon finally got the starting job, he just